Hey everybody, welcome to episode 6 of the Overly Subjective podcast. My name is Jesse, I'll be your host, and today I'm joined by Hewitt.
As usual, in the not really in the flesh, but here.
In the audio flesh.
Yep.
And I'm also joined by Landon, of course.
Yep, that's me.
Brilliant. So, I think the primary topic of discussion today is going to be the Nintendo Switch. You guys heard of this thing?
We've never talked about that on this podcast. You know.
Yeah, actually, I think it's the only thing we've talked about so far. But it is like the biggest news at the time of starting it, so I think we're allowed to do that. But it finally came out, and we each have our hands on it, and we each have a copy of Zelda, and we have the other games that are available, some of the other games that are available. But I'm not too sure where to begin with this. Do you guys, do you guys first of all like the Switch?
It's a piece of junk. I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
I use it as a coaster for my bug sometimes. It works pretty well for that.
You'd rather be using your Kindle?
If I had a Kindle, that's what I would be doing. Actually, I don't know.
I feel like it's just a tablet, man.
It's pretty much a tablet. Well, it's like less than a tablet, I'd say, because it doesn't have any apps or anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true in a way.
But I still love it a lot. Like, I have to say that I haven't owned a console since the Wii because I just didn't play consoles, I guess, because I bought the Wii and I barely played it. I only played Smash Bros. On it. And the Switch, it might be because Zelda is absolutely amazing, but I have been using my Switch a lot more than my computer these past ever since it came out.
It is a really good companion to a primary PC gamer. For sure, it's kind of like the Wii and the Wii U are kind of touted as the same thing among the PC community. But it pretty much is like exactly what they're selling it to be. And like nothing more, I guess you could say. So like, I don't even know what to say. Like, if you've seen the commercials, if you've been following what Nintendo has been selling it as and not what the people have been selling it as, it's exactly what you would expect. So if you want, it really is the only way to play high fidelity 3D graphics on the go. Like the 3DS is on the go, but it's not exactly like the greatest looking platform. And yeah, that's what they're really pushing it as. I read last week that the marketing they're trying to do is they're trying to say if your game's like on Steam, for example, it might as well be on the Switch too, because then now you have the option of taking it with you. So they're kind of like trying to they're not trying to compete with the Steam market, but they're trying to say if you're on Steam, you should be on the Switch too, because then you can go on the go, and you really can. Have you been playing it in handheld mode a lot?
Yeah, well, definitely, it's been a mix. On weekends, I definitely play on handheld mode quite a bit because I go out with my family a lot, and then I get to play it on the road with that. But at home, most of the time I play it, docked. But sometimes I'll be like, I feel like lying in bed. Let's just go lie in bed and play the Switch, and I can do that.
Yeah, I was doing that this morning. I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna play Zelda in my bed.
Have you guys played it taking a shit yet?
Oh yeah.
Really? I don't take any electronics into the bathroom.
I thought you were about to say I don't take any shits.
Yeah, Landon's actually a fairy.
I'm a North Korean dictator.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
King Jong-un, he says he doesn't like, or is it Il? I forget. Is Il the dead one? I'm not sure.
Not
yeah,
ill,
he's like godly, so he doesn't like go to the bathroom or anything. And he like only golfs hole-in-one shots and stuff like that.
What a god.
Yeah, he's sounds like a great guy to hang out with. That. So the Switch and Zelda. I'd like to talk about Zelda. I'd I want to see if we can keep it spoiler free because it is kind of new. We'll see if we can do that. Maybe just talk ambiguously if we can. But just more on the Switch. Here, I know you held it before you actually got yours, and I only really seen the pictures of it compared to the 3DS and stuff like that. And it is like I knew how big it was. I knew it was 6 inches, 6.2 inches, but I never really like thought about it too much. And then I got it, and it's like very. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be, but it works well, I think too.
It's really weird though, because like when you put the Joy-Con it looks just a tad too big. But then when you remove them, the Switch just looks too small.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I say with the Joy Cons on, it is kind of a little bit unwieldy for a handheld thing. Like, I don't think I can see myself walking around and playing it. I might or like run into something, but
Yeah.
just a klutz too.
I feel like it was smaller than I expected, but like not too small that it's a problem. I feel like it's almost just the right size.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think overall it's a good size. I think they probably took most of these thoughts into consideration. At least the Joy Cons too. I like the size. They kind of fit almost well in my hands, anyways. Someone else might be different, but they fit like perfectly in my hand, and they like rest easily against the like bottom palm of my hand, so they just like fit snug in there, and it feels really ergonomic. And I've been playing actually mostly in console mode with the Joy-Cons detached, so I'm kind of just like laying down on the floor, just like arms spread, like just loosey goosey, just playing the Switch, and it's just super comfortable.
Yeah,
And it works, man.
everybody made fun of the dude on stage when he did that on the couch when he was demonstrating that
Oh yeah,
capability.
that's right.
But that is actually really comfortable to play a game. Surprising.
And when I'm playing it in my computer chair, I have a fancy schmancy DX racer chair, and it has like kind of ergonomic armrest, but I can just rest my arms just totally flat against them with the Joy-Con in each hand, and like it just feels really comfortable. Like, and I was thinking about holding the Joy-Cons, like when you're holding a controller, it kind of feels unnatural because you have both your hands together, your shoulders kind of hunched in, your arms are like to the side of your body. It kind of looks and feels unnatural for a human. But I mean, obviously we're all used to it, but I think like biologically it's probably not right for a human to be like that for hours on end. On the Joy-Cons, you can just, when they're detached, you can just do whatever you want.
Well, so are you not using your Pro controller?
I have briefly used my Pro controller for Zelda a couple times, and I like it. I like the. I think the face buttons, like the X, Y, A, B, are a little too big and kind of feel a little cheap. But the joysticks themselves, I like. I like the large range of motion that allows for some finer tuned control. Because the Joy-Con sticks are a little too sensitive for me. They're nice, and they feel really nice, but they're a little too sensitive. And I know you have the opposite opinion because you prefer the Joy-Con over the Pro controller. The
Actually,
sticks
no.
anyways.
I've been playing with the Joy-Con, either the Pro controller more, and I actually use that whenever I'm home, having it docked.
Okay, so that's your primary.
Yeah, that's my primary right now. I mean, mainly I feel like I don't know. A lot of people reported this. It's not uncomfortable to use the Joy-Con detached, but it's just you have to get used to it. It feels different because you're so used to playing with your arms together on a controller that having that free range of motion on your arms just makes it feel a little bit weird. And as a result, I've kind of strayed away from doing that. But maybe it's something worth getting used to.
I agree. You definitely have to get used to it, and I think, I mean, everyone's gonna be different, but for me, it just feels more comfortable, and you have all the same functionality as the Pro controller. And yeah, it's tough to say which one is good, but that's the thing is with the Switch, man, you have options. You have the Pro controller, You have the Joy-Cons on the tablet. You have the Joy-Cons attached. You have the Joy-Cons on the Joy-Con grip. And like, who knows what there's gonna be in the future. And the Joy-Con grip is actually really comfortable too. I thought it looked kind of blocky and unwieldy when they showed it off, but I think it works. It's like the minimal that you would get away with for a controller. I think it works basically.
It's surprisingly solid. Surprisingly solid.
I like using the Joy-Cons off the Switch separately. Is probably my second favorite way of playing. And then maybe the Pro Controller the first, and then the grip last. But they're all separated by a small margin. They all feel really good, and probably worth investing in the Pro Controller.
I've seen some people saying that the Pro Controller is like the best controller that's ever been made, and I wouldn't go that far. But it's definitely comfortable, and it works well. And the joysticks feel solid. All the plus, minus, home, share button, those all feel good. Like I said, the face buttons are a little bit weird. The triggers are weird. And one thing I noticed, what people were talking about, like, oh, the Pro Controller doesn't have analog switches, analog triggers, but the Joy-Cons don't either. And I don't think I've seen anyone talk about that. Like, the Joy-Cons don't have analog triggers either.
Explain to me what that means.
Well, the analog would have like a full range of motion, so you'd have like top to bottom, and it's kind of like, you could think of like, I don't know, a spring, and each like movement, like from fully expanded to contracted, is like a sensitivity. So it's good for driving games. If you're like accelerating, you can touch it lightly, whereas digital is just either it's on or it's off. So either you're full gas or you're no gas at all.
I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
So definitely a con if you're playing driving games. But maybe they'll think of different. Maybe they'll use a joystick for acceleration. That would be weird, but
That'll be weird.
I don't know. Racing games, you want analog triggers, but
The one problem
no
I
one's
have.
mentioned. Yeah, go ahead.
The one problem I have with the Pro Controller is I keep hitting the fucking home button instead of the plus button when I'm playing Zelda, because they're not shaped like they are on the Joy-Con. They're just circles. And I guess, I don't know, it's conditioning from playing Xbox with Xbox controllers. So my thumb just goes to the start button, and that's where the home button is. And the plus button is slightly above that. Minor inconvenience, I guess.
I play with the PS4 controller, and the buttons for start and select are fairly similar to where plus and minus are.
I would like to know the decision behind the plus and the minus. What exactly does that symbolize?
Well, I tell you, I like it better than what Xbox is doing with their menu-looking
Like
things.
the double box and the play button?
Yeah. Well, it's like 3 lines and then the double box.
I don't have an Xbox controller, so I would not know.
They both make sense on the Xbox controller and the Joy-Con, but the plus and minus easily recognizable, faster.
I thought I would be able to control the volume with them right away, but I cannot.
I think the Wii and the Wii U also had plus and minus, right?
I think the Wii had 1 and 2, and the Wii U, I'm not too sure. I only played it for Skyward Sword.
I don't even own one.
So, and have you got to try out the HD Rumble?
No.
I got, I don't know if I fully experienced HD Rumble, but I bought Fast RMX, which is super fun. But it doesn't have, like, friend matchmaking, because I bought it for myself and my other brother, because I wanted to, like, matchmake with him and race. But there is online, but you can't matchmake with your friends. You just kind of go into a lobby.
So, does that mean you can't play with him?
Well, there's local multiplayer, so if we were on the same network, we could play together. But we can't play over, like, it's just, like, over the internet. You can't do it.
That's a little frustrating. And
Yeah,
I think
so-
we'll talk about that a little bit more later, like the online stuff.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll touch on that later. But what was I saying? The HD Rumble. So yeah, Fast RMX has the Rumble in there. I don't know if it's the HD Rumble, if I was fully experiencing it, but like hitting walls and stuff I could feel the Joy-Cons rumbling, and they have some beef in them, man. They have some power. I haven't felt like the ice cubes or anything, but it has some serious power.
Some serious power behind that rumble.
It feels like
Freaking 32 mega powers.
slight rumble in Zelda. I don't know if it's HD rumble.
Yeah, there's that slight rumble like whenever you make the horse go faster, or whatever that's called, or like going to near shrines with your shrine detector, though you don't play with that, Landon.
I have I've been turning it off and on sometimes. It's good, I guess.
Yeah, not much experience, and I haven't played anything with the IR sensor either.
Yeah, neither have I. That's, I think, only the 1-2 Switch stuff has that right now.
Who has that game anyways?
I don't know. I know that kind of related to that. Some reports that Japan has sold 95% of their stock of the Switches. So like all the inventory they have, they've sold 95% of it. So Nintendo in Japan, anyways, is doing good business. They're not keeping a lot of overstock. They don't have a lot of assets that they need to like store and use like money for storage space. But apparently, there's an only 60% attach rate of Zelda for the Switch, which is pretty high. But 40% is like 40% of the Switch is sold in Japan. They don't have that Zelda. What are they buying? 1-2 Switch. They're buying 1-2 Switch, man. Or there's other games too. It's like Disgaea 5 is out in Japan.
Tetris.
Yeah, Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Is Gaia 5's out in Japan? When is that coming out here? I want to play it.
I'm not sure, but you can order it and you can play it on your Switch, and it'll detect your region and then show up in English and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some reports of people just buying it from Japan and the English
Yeah,
is already
because you can just buy from the Japanese eShop. You can make a Japanese eShop account and buy through that.
Oh, can you really? Does that stick if you switch back to North America?
I think so. And but yeah, it totally does, because I was watching Giant Bomb play some Japanese games, and they also had like American games on there as well at the same time. But what should we call it? The only thing is that you need to buy Japanese eShop like cards. You can't just pay with credit card because they don't accept that.
So you need like a So you just need like a yen eShop card.
So yeah, what you need to do is you need to make a Japanese eShop account and then go through a third-party seller to buy a Japanese eShop like code, like a card code.
Kind of like the ones you see in Best Buy or something.
Yeah, exactly. Except the Japanese version.
Also, I'd like to point out that I don't think Japan uses yen. They use something else, don't they?
No, they use yen.
Do they? Okay. I thought I was wrong for a moment there. My knowledge of Japanese culture is based solely on the Yakuza games. So that's a brief overview of the Switch. I'd say overall, I'm like super pleased with the build quality. My Joy-Cons snap on perfectly. There's no play when the Joy-Cons are attached. I know some people have been having issues with the dock like scratching their Switch screen. I think that might be the dock might be actually warped itself because it is just a piece of plastic, and the
might
screen
also just
itself.
be jamming it in there.
Yeah, they could be, but it's hard to think about people not being careful with this thing, right? You gotta baby it.
You'd think.
I thought the Switch screen was glass, but it's actually plastic, so it will scratch. The dock will scratch it because it's plastic on plastic. So definitely get a screen protector if you can.
Yep, I got one, and it's not a glass screen protector, but I have to say, it is pretty darn good because it does not look like there's a screen protector on there at all.
Have you tried any of the touch functions?
Wait, there's touch? I'm just kidding. I have for just like navigating menus and stuff, because I don't have any games that use touch at the moment.
Yeah, screen protectors don't generally like influence the sensitivity, so shouldn't worry there. And if you're looking for, you don't even really need to buy a Switch specific screen protector, but if you do, you'll get little cutouts for the IR thing and that stuff. But you could just buy like a I know you can buy like sheets of just screen protector, and you could like cut out your own if you wanted. Because there are some issues with some of the manufacturers' screen protectors. The Hori Premium one, I think it is. It's just like melting off the screen because the Switch is getting a little hot. So it's
I
like
thought that
melting
was
the
just for the
adhesive.
skins.
I read it
No,
was for the
that's
skins too. I think it's both.
D brand came out and said that their adhesive on their skins melts the plastic of the Joy-Cons.
Oh, like it actually melts like the actual plastic, like the housing on the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! So if you need to freaking melt your
Don't buy
Joy-Con for
D-brand.
whatever reason,
Well,
D-brand.
D brand actually recalled all the ones that they sent out.
That's probably good. They're like the most popular Skinner, I believe,
Skinner.
besides the Simpsons Skinner. I don't know. You guys have any other comments you want to make on the Switch? Do you have any left Joy-Con disconnecting issues?
I have not run into any issues with my Switch. Freaking knock on wood.
No, none really. I did notice those safety straps are very tight fitting. Like they're hard to take off even when you put them on correctly.
I have not had an issue with that. Like the little extra extender things, right, for your Joy-Con when you're using them individually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not had any issues with that. I mean, it's definitely a little bit hard, but really, it's not too hard.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's for a brand new thing. It's way harder than you would want it to be.
I don't know.
Personally,
Maybe
I haven't
I
even
have
tried
no
to put
issue.
mine on.
Yeah, I put it on whenever I play snipper clips with my cousin when I'm not at home. Which, by the way, is a fantastic game to play with other people. Like my cousin and I haven't played games together in ages because I haven't had a console in ages. But we ended up playing like a good bit of snipper clips and had a good time with that. Like we were laughing and like messing around with each other. It was a good time, and yeah, I've had no issues with that.
Is he a Switch fan, or is he like undecided?
He's not a huge gamer. He somewhat plays game. He plays a bit of Hearthstone, and some CS:GO. He mostly just does like CS:GO betting and skin stuff, but he's not all that big of a gamer. He used to play Maple with me. He was that cousin that merged a lot. You remember that dude?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah. So he's not like a huge gamer. He'll play. He likes games, but he never really followed the Switch that much. And I think he's really enjoying it from what I can tell, just because it's something that we can do together, not just at home, but like I could, we eat lunch together a lot. Our family eats lunch together, and I just bring it, plop it on the table, and we start going at it.
That's awesome, man. That's like exactly what the Switch is supposed to be used for.
Yeah, like I'm very happy with my Switch. Like I have to say that all their modes of playing, like while the screen is a little bit small for that, but it works. It's better than nothing. I like it a lot. I really enjoy it.
So snipper clips, is that something you would recommend to like everyone who has a Switch or everyone who has friends? Does snipper clips have a single player mode?
It does. I've never tried it though. Like so you like press. I think from what I saw, you press a button to switch between the two characters. But I definitely don't think it'll be nearly as fun if you're just playing it by yourself.
Yeah, I watched a video on that. The guy who played it was a giant Bob Quick Look, I think. They did not like the single player at all.
Yeah, because like a large part of the fun is coordinating with your buddy.
Is it frustrating though? If you like trying to, if like the answer's obvious and you're like trying to get the other person to freaking fit properly?
No, I think it's kind of hilarious if that happens, but definitely I feel like it would be a little bit more frustrating if you weren't that close to the person you're playing. Because my cousin and I, we've known each other for basically our entire lives, and we hang out a lot.
Yeah, I should maybe buy snipper clips as something to like show off to people. Like if I ever see people.
I mean, don't you bring your Switch to work?
Well, I've had time off so far, so I haven't been. I go back to work tomorrow night, so maybe I'll bring it there. But my partner in crime, my shift teammate there, isn't really sold on the Switch, so I don't want to like dig a deeper grave for the Switch, in his opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I
show it
get you.
off. Maybe I'll get snipper clips. I was gonna play Fast RMX with him, but then I'm willing to bet he might complain about the split screen on being on such a small screen, which is a fair complaint.
Yeah, definitely.
So snipper clips, something we shall look into, I think. Any other games you guys get? Any of the Neo Geo games?
Yeah, I got Metal Slug to play with my cousin because he and I used to play a lot of MAME games together, and Neo Geo was one of our favorite. Or sorry, Metal Slug was one of our favorites. So that was good, kind of like throwback game.
Yeah, that game is still like visually freaking awesome.
Yep, it's a fun game, and they have like the whole art. It's like the arcade version. It's not like a special version just for console. They have like this. They still have the coins and stuff, so you can press a button to enter the coins.
You can make your friends actually pay you to play it.
Yeah, like every time you press the coin, it actually takes it directly out of your credit card.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
That would be crazy.
I'm not sure. I want to play I Am Setsuna. Read some mixed reviews on it though, so I'm not totally sure yet.
Is it mixed reviews of the Switch version or the mixed reviews of the game itself? Because I haven't played the game itself before.
The ones I read were just of the game, like talking about the environments and the enemies and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm glad it's not like the Switch is making it not great.
It seems to be. I mean, it's not. I have to read more reviews because freaking reviews, man. You have to have a PhD to freaking cut through the bullshit half the time. But I think over on Metacritic right now it's like 7.5, so it's not terrible. I think the critic review is 74, so I mean it's a decent enough score.
It's an average game.
Maybe I'll wait till it goes down.
It's no Legend of Zelda.
It's no Legend of Zelda. I think we'll get into that soon. It's the big one everyone wants to talk about. I think maybe we'll get some of the other stuff out of the way first. I played Voez. I bought Voez. I think you should buy it too.
I'm probably gonna buy it.
Yeah, the music is awesome, and I play it. Remember, it's tablet mode only, and I play it kind of like I'm playing a piano. So I have like both my hands on the Switch, and I try and like use all my fingers. And it's so hard because like sometimes the left half of the screen will be like off beat with it won't be off beat, it'll be on beat, but the right half of the screen you're doing like a bunch of other notes, so you really gotta have this like piano tempo going. So it's pretty interesting, but there's pretty good variety of songs so far. There's like crazy techno songs, there's like nice beautiful piano songs, and it's a decent challenge. Makes you feel good when you do good.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys ever played Demo?
No.
Yes, I have actually played Demo.
Yeah, because it's from the same creators.
They're like the Rayark's like the premier like rhythm touch based creators. I think if Voez does well, they might bring over Demo, and they could bring over Sidus too, because they would both do good.
Yeah,
Do well.
I mean, being a tablet-like thing, any of the tablet games would have a natural kind of, transition over.
So you'd be okay with Clash of Clans Switch Edition?
No thanks.
I can hear the freaking startup music, man. It's giving me PTSD.
I've never played Clash.
Don't.
Don't.
Don't. Forget it exists.
So anything else you guys have purchased on the Switch or have been playing this week, or is that everything?
Not really a game, but I purchased a micro SD card for my Switch, 128 gigs.
get a U class one. U1, I think, is the
I
minimum.
think so, because when I put it in, it installed like a firmware update specifically for U class cards.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Hey, speaking of firmware, I guess there's some issues with what's the Dragon Quest game that's out for the Switch?
I don't know.
I think it's Dragon Quest.
It's like a numbered Dragon Quest.
Yeah, but there's like an issue with it running, and I guess there's an issue with the Switch GPU, like not allocating resources properly, so they're gonna release a firmware to fix that and make it better. So we probably won't see any like additional benefits in other games, probably specifically Dragon Quest, but whatever. It's a thing that's happening. So I guess we'll talk about this freaking game. What's it called again?
Legend of Korra.
Legend of
Legend of Korra. The Last Airbender. So I don't even know where to start with Legend of Zelda, man. We have to be careful not to talk about spoilers.
Well, first of all, if you're on the fence, get off the fence and go buy it immediately.
It's alright. It's like, it's an average Zelda. Just kind of like, maybe about as good as Skyward Sword. No, it is.
Hey, amazing. Skyward Sword's my favorite. Was my favorite. I think Breath of the Wild is my favorite now. Which might not bode well for Breath of the Wild if someone's comparing it to Skyward Sword. But listen, I think you have to play the game and come to your own conclusions, because some of the reviews that are coming out for this thing, man, I just want to slap these people with a fish. Like, it's just, I was reading one on Reddit. I won't get into like all the terrible ones, and of course it's all like subjective, but some guy was complaining that it's like not the classic Zelda experience, and the whole time I'm reading all his responses, I'm like, A, they said that it wasn't going to be a classic Zelda experience, so what were you expecting? And B, you don't get to decide what the game should be. The people creating the game decide what the game is going to be. They're the artists behind it. So yeah, whatever if you don't like it. But he wasn't making good arguments on why it was bad. He was making subjective arguments as facts why it was bad. That's not the way you should review a game. But put that aside, it's the greatest game that's ever been made. Basically.
It's fucking up there, man. It's so good.
I literally right now, all I can do is think about playing it. Like, every time I have any free time that I'm not streaming or not doing something in MapleStory that I have to do to kind of progress my character, I'm playing that game. I'm probably spending, 90% of my day playing that game, 5%, doing MapleStory, 5% eating and sleeping on the weekends. Of course, during weekdays, that's going to work.
But you'd rather be playing Zelda the whole time.
Of course. Oh my god, I can't even. Like, when people ask me if they should buy a Switch, I'm like, do you have a Wii U? They're like, no. I'm like, you should get a Switch. Because just getting Zelda, like, even if you just play Zelda only for the system, I think that probably, while it's not like completely worth it, I think it's, still, it's not terrible. Because
I think it will become even more worth it, because we're getting the 3 packs of DLC, and that includes a new quest line and a new dungeon. And like, they have this Breath of the Wild engine all laid out already. They know what they made the game, their experience with how to make it, the pipelines there. I think we will probably see another Zelda on the Switch. That's my prediction right now.
I have a theory for the sequel to it will be that we can talk about after, even though I haven't beaten it yet.
Neither have I.
How would you describe Zelda to a non-Zelda person? Like, we have our other brother. He got a Switch and got Zelda, and he's not really a Zelda fan. I don't think he's tried to play the other Zeldas, but he hasn't beat them to completion. I don't even think he's beaten the first dungeon in a lot of them. And he seems to be like having a blast with it right now. And I think it's because it's like, it's still Zelda. Don't let anyone convince you that it's not Zelda, because it's still Zelda. It's just, you got to think about it in an abstract way. Because some of the things that I thought were missing at first are definitely still there. They're just kind of put into the game in a different frame.
Presented in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, I was worried about the shrines at first, and like the lack of dungeons, kind of like I was worried of how big the dungeons would be. But the combination of the dungeons that are there and the fucking 100+ shrines, I'm like totally satisfied with the number of puzzles that I'm doing.
It's definitely a good mix. Like the thing is, I think the great part about it is that it doesn't force your hand to do anything. It's not like you have to go do a dungeon now. You have to go do a shrine right now. It's like, sometimes I'll feel like doing a shrine and I'll see one in the distance. And I'm like, you know what? Let's mark that with my little binocular or whatever thing and then go do it. Or sometimes I'll be like, I see a shrine over there, but I kind of want to feel like exploring more. So I think I'm going to skip that and come back to it later and just continue exploring. It's like, you can do whatever you feel like doing at that moment.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of times where I see a shrine and I just kind of ignore for now because I'm trying to collect weapons. And I think they lay out the game in a way, like you start out, and I hate to compare it to another game because I always say that I don't like when people do it, but it's very much like Dark Souls in the sense that you start the game and you don't really have a direction. You're just kind of in the world and you have to survive on your own, and you kind of have a general idea what you're supposed to do, but not really. And at the same time, you're allowed to do whatever you want. But it's also, they have the environment set up with the physics and everything where like it's like a real living virtual world, because if you can think of interactions to do with the stuff you have equipped or available to you, you like 100% of the time will be able to follow through that interaction. Like they don't limit anything.
I wouldn't say 100%, but
I don't know,
probably
have you tried to
90 to
do something?
95. I can't think of one on the top of my head right now, but I'm sure there's something out there. Like, for example, I think like sometimes when when the goblins' weapons are on fire, and they drop on the ground, I don't think they actually set the grass on fire. Or maybe I just wasn't next to grass.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it has to be dry grass.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that happen.
Maybe I was just on the green area, but not like grassy.
Okay, I'll concede then 99.5% of the time you'll be able to do it. We'll test that later.
Yeah, either way, it's like you have so much freedom in the game. You can literally just do almost anything you put your mind to.
The thing that's weird trying to explain to other people is you say it's total freedom, you can do whatever you want. But if you haven't played it, that is kind of a generic way to describe it. Like every open world game does that, technically, right? But Zelda does it in a totally different way. It just is amazing.
Well, we talked about it earlier, where like Skyrim is an open world game and it allows you to go everywhere, but it still feels confined because like if you want to get to the top of the mountain, yeah, you can do it, but you either have to cheese your way to do it or you have a linear path to do it. In Zelda, the whole world feels open because you can go anywhere, and like that includes going straight there, that includes paragliding there, that includes fast travel, that includes like walking up the trails of the mountain, that includes
shield
surfing, just climbing up the mountain, like. And that's another thing, is the environment itself is a puzzle. Like the agency in the game is so extreme. Like you see the peak in the distance, getting there is kind of a puzzle because you get to decide what's the best way to get there. Should I go this way because I'm not equipped to fight in a certain area, so maybe I should go this way. And yeah, it's like
or it's just like looking at the mountain to see like the curvatures to see if there's enough like resting spots for you to climb up there, or like maybe I should hang glide or paraglide down there to make most of the distance without having to climb up.
The thing I notice
Yeah.
about exploring is that it's always worth it. There's always something at the end of where you're going to go. Like even if it's at the top of a mountain that's barren, what you get out of that is an amazing view of the area, and you can scan and look for new places to go to. There's always a benefit to exploring. It doesn't do the thing that other open world games do, where you go to the top of a Sheik Tower, you unlock it, and then there's a bunch of side quests dotted on the map or interest points, and go collect this and there, here, giving you exact locations of where you need to go. It's total like you have to climb large things so that you could physically look out and see where you want to go.
Yeah, I've done like circles around the map so many times, and I'll go to areas that I was in at the beginning or the middle of my playtime, and I will like still find new things. Today I found 2 new stables that I didn't find before in areas that I had already been in. Whether or not that's because I'm an idiot, I'm not looking properly, but I still found new things when I came back.
Wait,
It's,
how far are you in the game, Jesse? How many shrines have you done? And I'm sure you've beaten it, right?
I have beaten it. I beat it today, actually, or last night, or last morning. This night shift screws with you, man. So I've basically been playing it non-stop since it came out on last Friday. And I wanted to give you guys this stat because I think it'll blow your mind. I did beat it. I don't even want to say this because it might be a spoiler, but I did I did all the main stuff to completion, all of it. The only thing that's left is like the side quests, which I'm like going back and doing now. But I have 70 Sheikah shrines unlocked, and I have, I think, a total of like 80. I say like 80 Korok seeds. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think people know that's in the game. So I have like 80 Korok seeds out of 300. Actually, 900, isn't there? Something like crazy amount of Korok seeds.
I think it was a typo. I think it's 90.
You think it's 90?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think there's like 300. I remember people saying that they thought they put in so many because you're not gonna find them all, and they still want you to have this benefit of having the Korok seeds. I don't know, because you'll go to some crazy ass place. Yeah, you'll go to like the top of some big ass mountain, and there'll be a freaking Korok seed up there. So like, not only do you get the view, but you get a little like prize too.
Yeah,
So
there's
70
Korok puzzles in places that I would not have imagined, like at the top of trees. There's puzzles at the top of mountains. There's like racing puzzles and shooting puzzles that you need to do just to get a fucking Korok seed. And they're everywhere.
Some of them are in crazy places, man. And dude, some of the side quests are so good. And there's some that you guys have done that I haven't done yet. And like freaking Switch doesn't record your playtime. Actually, it does record your playtime, but after a certain amount of days, it starts showing you. So I don't know how many hours I've played, but I'd say like at least 80 hours, I want to say. And
yeah,
I'm still going through the side quests. I don't feel like I rushed it. I kind of did it on my own pace. But so 70 Sheikah shrines, 80 Korok seeds. I did all the main stuff. I did a good chunk of the side quests. And when you beat the game, it gives you a percentage complete in your Sheikah slate. And I'm 18% done out of 100%.
What?
Yeah, man.
How?
I don't know. I have no freaking idea.
That is crazy. Oh my god. So I'm
I
like,
know.
oh, 70 shrines, like 80 Koroks. That sounds like you're almost done, dude.
No, barely. I'm not even close.
God damn.
I think in the in one of the game guides it says that each thing you complete is worth 0.08% to your total completion. So I could calculate how many things I have left to do. So I have hundreds and hundreds of things to do left still. Like, that blows my mind, man.
is crazy. Like,
Uh,
oh my god. So my thought when I was thinking about you being complete with the game, almost, I'm like, I kind of feel sad for you because, like, I don't know. I personally don't want to finish the game anytime soon.
Oh man, I thought I would be the same way too. And it is a little empty when you beat it at first, but then you get back into it and there's no like new game plus. It just kind of throws you back into the last save before you like do the main fight. So you just kind of continue off from there. So at first I felt a little bit empty, but I just started getting back into it, pretending like didn't even do the end fight. And so far, yeah, I'm still enjoying it. And I'm just gonna keep cracking at the side quests, freaking try to get 100% or close to it.
It
And
blows my
then,
mind. Like, people who haven't played it don't understand how like fucking crazy that is, because the game is so fucking big and so full of stuff that it's only you finished it. It's only 18% done. That's insane.
yeah, I'm gonna try to get up there. I think I'll leave a little bit for the DLC for that new dungeon and new quest line. 'Cause apparently it's like a full-on main quest line, so who knows what it is.
I need to buy the season pass.
Have they started selling it yet?
Oh, have they? I don't know. All I know is I'm gonna buy it for sure. Like,
Yeah, I
I
will
love this
too.
game to death.
I think I might start playing with the pro mode on that like removes the HUD and removes the mini map, so you kind of gotta like play based on the remembering locations.
Damn.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I want to do that too.
You can still access the map though, right?
I think through your Sheikah slate you can, yeah. So yeah, how are you guys enjoying it?
It is my new favorite Zelda game. I'm saying right now, this early, 100% best Zelda game.
I mean, there's arguments being made by a lot of people about Ocarina of Time. I've never played it, and I'm assuming that if you played it at the time it came out, we would probably be feeling the same way as we're feeling about Breath of the Wild right now. So it is my favorite Zelda game and probably one of my favorite games of all time right now. I definitely haven't synced. I don't remember the last game I sank this many hours into that wasn't an MMO or like MOBA or something.
It's, I think it's like objectively speaking, without nostalgia blinders on, it's the best Zelda game. Just because the thing I wasn't expecting about the game is the fucking layers of systems that they have. It's just like that Nintendo polish into an open world Zelda game where everything interacts with everything else in some way, and it's fantastic.
Well, you even got ass blasted with spoilers too before you got a chance to play it.
You know, I thought I did at the time, but now seeing how much shit is in it, seeing a couple pieces of equipment isn't really that much of a spoiler anymore. In retrospect.
Yeah, if we can we look at it objectively as a subjective podcast? I don't know, man. Game design wise, it's like solid. Like the systems are in there. The systems work like pretty like all the time that I found.
I mean, of course, there are like some inconveniences. Like, I'm sure this has been said many times, but like, for example, dropping equipment is kind of rough a lot of times, especially dropping like when your inventory's full and you have to like drop a shield or drop a bow, or like I guess one of the other things people say is like cooking. Not having like a cookbook or whatever that you can just click like, oh, I want to make X amounts of this or X amounts of that. Those can be a little bit annoying, but like really, I think the game is good enough to just overlook all of that.
I like the cooking, the no cookbook thing. I think that's a feature, not a bug.
Like just having to remember what you're cooking.
Yeah, because I went to a place, non-spoiler. I went to a place to get a recipe, and I forgot it, and I had to go back and get it, and I had to collect all the recipes, and now I have it in my memory forever. And it's just some little thing that's connecting me to the game even more than just reading fucking recipe off a list.
Well, it's not like I'm not talking about like making a recipe, but like being able to create more than multiple of one item. For example,
Yeah, like you only have to do one. You can only do one at a time.
yeah. So for example, so like I want to combine this apple with this mushroom with this piece of steak. You know, can I make 4 of those at once? You have to keep opening up your inventory again, keep grabbing those things, and keep putting them into the cooking thing.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair complaint. And the dropping the weapons and other stuff, that's a fair complaint too. It is kind of annoying when you get a chest with a new weapon in it, and it's like your inventory's full, and you're like, damn. Now I have to decide which weapon to abandon. So that is slightly annoying. The food thing is annoying, although I find now that I've gotten like fairly adept at the combat, I don't even make the healing stuff anymore. I just, if I make something, it's something to increase my speed or something. That's about it. Or like cooking stuff to sell. It's good profit.
Yep.
But you can skip the cooking animation, so it's a little bit quicker if you do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I fucking love watching that little animation.
All the stuff bouncing around in the cooking pot.
Yeah.
And it's not that long.
Yeah, it's really short.
I've seen what some other things people have complained about. Let's talk about them. I've heard people complain about the lack of music in the overworld. How like if you're exploring, there's no background music. And I think like that's a benefit to the game. I don't know why people are complaining about that.
It's on purpose. They didn't forget to put music in. Goddamn it.
Yeah.
They like when you start doing something, like you start a battle, the music kicks up. And you notice it, and there's I don't know. There's music. It happens when it needs to happen at the exact right time, and it makes it even better than just some overworld theme repeating itself.
My complaint about the music is that there's not enough ocarina music. I own ocarinas. I love playing my ocarinas. I was looking forward to getting some new songs to play or being inspired to play some Zelda music, but there's not enough. I haven't heard any ocarina music actually.
Will Cass plays some Ocarina too? Well, not on the Ocarina, but he plays the tracks.
You know, you mentioned music. Most Zelda games have some aspect of music as a puzzle element in the game. This one doesn't at all.
Like with the Ocarina and like the flutes in Oracle Seasons.
Like Wind Waker, you have the Wind Waker Ocarina of Time, you have the Ocarina to go back and forth through time and shit, and you know, do the Song of Rain or whatever. In this, in Breath of the Wild, there isn't any music stuff like that.
What about like the Twilight Princess or like Skyward Sword? I haven't really finished those.
Yeah, there's music stuff in Skyward Sword. It's not as it like it was in Ocarina, but that was one of those things that it was one of the staples of Zelda for a while.
You think we could like talk about the timeline, like where it fits in the timeline?
I don't know. Don't we have to beat it to guess that?
Well, I beat it.
You gonna talk about it to yourself?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty. You learn pretty early where it sits in the timeline. Maybe we'll let people discover that. But it does sit definitively in one of the timelines. There's no like guesswork about it.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Maybe I'm not paying attention.
I'm not really that big of a lore person for Zelda. I haven't followed the lore at all.
Sacrilege. Yeah, it's really timeline's not like really important at all. But it's interesting to know. How do you guys like the another thing people complain about is the durability on the weapons, how weapons like constantly are breaking.
I mean, at times I'm like, dang, I wish I could have had that weapon for longer. But to be honest, like you get so new weapons all the time at such a high frequency that, you know, it's not that annoying. And, you know, your later game weapons do definitely have higher durability, and that's not that bad.
Yeah, I definitely like the system. I mean, they do it really well. It's not really that much of an inconvenience for me. Although, I'm not sure if I would prefer like the traditional system of having just like one or two weapons. I like both quite a bit.
My favorite way to play is just freaking spin to win, man.
Like the
Two-handed
two-handed
weapon.
weapon?
Yeah, just hold down attack and just spin and fucking take everything out.
Oh yeah, that's really fun.
Durability, yeah, it's annoying to have like one of your favorite weapons break, but I think it's intentional to just keep you on your toes, keep you moving and exploring and finding new weapons and stuff like that.
If
Another
anything,
one, go ahead.
if anything, it makes the whole experience better because you'll have these ebb and flows of like, oh, I got all these sweet things, and then you have like a really tough fight and you're down to shit. You're like, now you're in trouble and you're feeling a little bit of anxiety in case you run into a new monster. You gotta find a new weapon to fucking kill it, and it's just, I think it makes it more entertaining than just having a static weapon.
One other thing people have complained about is the raining. People have complained about the raining. I can see how it's annoying because you want to climb a mountain, and when it rains, it takes like double the stamina to achieve the same thing. And oftentimes you simply don't have enough to do it. So it will rain sometimes like all day long, and it is annoying to get to where you want to go. But on the flip side, it kind of forces you to go there in a way you wouldn't have before. So maybe you prefer climbing, now you're kind of forced to take the trail, and you have to fight enemies along the way. So it's I could understand the frustration there, but I think it forces you to play in a way that it takes you out of your comfort zone, and then maybe a little edgy while you're fighting those enemies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if it was a different game that lacked the options to access something in many different ways, it'd probably be a pretty heinous fucking thing to put in there, but I think it's fine. It works well. Like you said.
I mean, I'm probably a little bit more negative about it. I do kind of share a little bit of annoyance for rain. I see what's there. I see why you would slip and fall. It makes sense. But I personally would have liked it if maybe you didn't slip and fall like so often. Like basically whenever you know, you jump, make that little leap, you slipped. There's like it's 100%
Yeah,
of the time.
it's not. Yeah, it's not random. It's every time you jump, you will slip down a little bit. So it's definitely really annoying. And I mean, there are some places where sometimes there isn't no walkway, so you simply just have to wait until it stops raining.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll just go and like find a fire or something, set it and just wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's optional. No, the game doesn't force you to climb a mountain while training. I mean, you still could, and you could annoy yourself by doing so. That's your freedom, I guess.
Though there
And there's
is one place where it's always raining.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But you could, with that one, you can climb up to an area far away and paraglide down.
Yes.
Always options.
the areas on the coast actually rain more often too, like along the beaches. I have noticed they rain more often there. So maybe a thing that they may have thought was like so realistic that they should add it, but might be a little bit of a burden for a lot of people. Seems to be the case.
Yeah.
I think another fair criticism for sure.
Yeah, but in that vein, like fire is also a burden if you walk in it.
And there's just
Well,
like all sorts of like crazy Nintendo. Well, regards to the fire doesn't like prevent you from doing anything though.
it's not that prevalent.
Have you been to fucking Goron Town?
Whoa, spoilers!
That might not be a spoiler.
There's a Goron in the trailer.
Oh, is there?
There's all sorts of little cool things too, it's the Nintendo polish. Like you can't use a fire arrow in the rain. You can't use a bomb arrow in the rain. You can't use a bomb arrow on a volcano because it'll blow up because of the heat. You can. There's an alternate way to cook where you just throw the food on top of the flames instead of in the cooking pot, and it will cook stuff that way. You could do that on the volcano because the rocks are hot. You just throw the food onto the rocks and it cooks away.
Yeah. My thing about the fire or like the Goron area is that you can use a potion to, ignore that.
Yeah, hey, maybe there's a potion to like climb stuff in rain.
DLC.
Well, there kind of is
Microtransactions.
already. I mean, you just make food that replenishes your stamina. Problem solved.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive though.
And it's still you still slip. You might be able to make it up that mountain that you weren't able to make it up before, but you still slip, and it still
Yeah, it
takes a long
takes like
time.
twice the amount of time. Yeah.
I get the gripe behind it, but I feel like the game offers so many alternatives to circumvent that situation that it's not an issue for me personally.
We might be too rational though. There's a lot of like emotional gamers out there.
I know. I a while ago I popped on a video of some dudes whose only complaint about the game was the lightning strikes.
They're like the most fun though.
I like them. They're fun.
Yeah. I still haven't tried hitting a monster with a lightning strike. I need to try it though.
Yeah, just get like your sword or something, getting the shock little thing going on. Just give it a hurl, man. Give it a try. It's definitely hard to be.
Yeah. Sometimes I just killing enemies. I really like one of the things is yet again Giant Bomb. We're big fans. We listen a lot. Jeff complains about how a lot of the killing the enemies in the overworld is a little bit non-interactive, not really meaningful. You don't really get anything from it, which is not true later in the game. There is something you can do with that stuff that you get from the monsters, but I find that one of the things that I like doing is being creative with my kills. Like I'll want to let's say I freeze the enemy and then I use my Korok leaf to blow them off a cliff or something, or like I'll freeze them and like drop a bomb next to them and then like walk away and let the bomb explode and knock them off, or like just finding creative ways to kill enemies is part of the fun for me.
Yeah, I wish I was just smarter. Because I just walk in and freaking massacre best I can. Actually, probably my preferred way is an aerial strike.
Aerial
Just hop
strike.
in. Yeah, just go down, equip like a. Well, can't say what, but just shoot a bunch of bomb arrows and just watch everything freaking blow up.
I like going in without a plan and then getting fucked.
Yeah.
I do that so much, and I don't know why. I like throwing my weapons, like even my expensive, like hard to get weapons. I like throwing everything. It's just funny to watch.
I'm completely against that. I will not throw my weapon until it's like it's about to break.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I usually like any spears I get. Before I used to save them, but now I like throw them immediately. I just fucking hug them at their face, and they break instantly because they're spears.
It's double damage though, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. It's satisfying to see that little blue shadow thing. See the enemy go flying. That's the thing about this game is like every fucking action you do is satisfying.
I've been messing around with stasis a lot more lately to kill my enemies.
I find it a little difficult to aim the stasis objects when you hit them.
Oh, no, I've been using it to freeze the enemies. So I'm not like freezing objects to hurl at them. I'm freezing the enemies themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that by like accident like once or twice. So that's the Legend of Zelda. I think we'll definitely be talking about this more as we continue to play.
It's pretty much the extent of how much we can talk about it without spoilers.
Yeah, I think given some time, we'll be able to talk about all the little crazy interactions we've each had and include the spoilers. Maybe have like a spoiler specific episode, maybe label it like that so we can talk about it. Something we could possibly do.
Yeah, actually, something that inspired me to be creative with my kills was watching Donkey's video.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. He's some good ones in there.
Definitely.
I liked what he did with the raft.
Well, put the little balloons on them.
Yeah, that was fun. That was funny.
I've actually never used those little octo balloons or whatever. I should try
Yeah,
them
I've been
out.
saving them, but I haven't used them.
I use them quite a bit. I like them.
You could put one on like a metal sword in a thunderstorm and just like float it over to the camp and then watch it freaking shoot lightning down on them. These are things you can do, people. It's crazy. It's hard to be. It's very hard to be. What am I trying to say? It's very hard to take a game that you love as much as Zelda Breath of the Wild and try to find faults with it. And don't get us wrong, there are faults with the game, as there are with any game that you may like. There's always faults, and there's objective faults, not just subjective ones. But sometimes the game is just good enough to overcome those, and you can ignore them, like the frame drops.
Oh yeah, that is another thing. But apparently, it's not an issue on handheld mode at all.
That's right. I think it has to do with the the upscaling to 1080p. Switch just can't
Or
quite handle it.
900p.
The 900p, yeah. It's true. But it's like, it is what it is. Maybe it'll get fixed, maybe it won't. Probably won't, but game's good enough for me to overlook that, and I'm a freaking PC master race. I have 144 hertz monitor. We all know this BS. I go for the highest frames possible, but sometimes the game's just good enough to overlook that.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, and also
No Ocarina, 6 out of 10.
people exaggerate that frame drop thing. There's a couple areas specifically that are pretty. It's not cool. It's not fun to fucking have frame drops there, but overall the game is good frame rate.
I also like the humor in the game. It's pretty funny sometimes.
Yeah, it's surprisingly funny. Like, there's a lot of fucking good little things.
There's some innuendo in there too with some of the characters.
Really?
Yeah, actually, I enjoy speaking with just the random people around the world. Normally, I would just ignore all the like shitty villagers, but actually, find myself wanting to interact with them in this one.
I normally do so regardless. But one of the things, I don't know, this was on an article in Kotaku the other day, and I never really noticed this. But the painter dude that you go to, like, you ask like the painter dude in the game, he's like, so he's like going around the world painting all this stuff. But then when you actually look at his canvas, his drawings are absolute garbage.
Yeah, they are. But he's actually trying to paint what's in front of him, which I think is cool. It's just not very good. Yeah, I think, well, we will definitely have to touch more on this. There's just so much. I think we did an okay job explaining the overall feel of the game. As we play more, maybe we can flesh out our the objective things that maybe could be improved with it. I think, I don't know, there's really not too many things. A lot of it is just subjective stuff. If you're not going to like the game, I mean, nothing we said here is going to change your mind. You just are just a gaming curmudgeon and you should go shoot yourself in the face. Just kidding. Don't do that. We're just not going to change your mind. I think we'll end it here unless you guys have any other things you want to add. Maybe there is something you want to say about Zelda.
Yeah, not in Zelda specifically, but do you want to talk a little bit about like the Switch and like kind of the negative sides of the Switch console itself?
In what regards?
Like, for example, online, like, friends list not really doing anything, still using the friend code.
Yeah, it's hard for me to talk about that because I've never been a console player really. So things like, there are things that I would want. The friends code, as I understand, is just temporary for now until they get everyone over to the Nintendo accounts. But right now you just see what people are playing, and it would be nice to like have a chat. Like, you could open up a chat with your friends and something like that. Because I know you can do that with Xbox and PlayStation. And the other stuff I don't know, because like game dropping in and out and stuff like that. I don't know if that's something. We don't even really have any games right now that support that.
Like
Snipper clips, is that online?
Fast RMX being able to play with Brad.
Yeah, dropping in, but like right now, that's not even a feature of the game, anyways. That would need to be in the game to be able to do it.
Or like I guess where was I going with this? I don't even know. It's another online thing that I was gonna bring up. Being able to maybe like invite your friends to play with you or something, like something that's online compatible. Oh, I was gonna say that Bomberman you could go online with. I know that, but
Okay, does that have like a friend thing that you can
I don't
invite
know.
people?
I haven't played it. So.
I think, yeah, because Fast RMX doesn't even have like a lobby per se. You just choose online multiplayer and it finds a match for you. So I think because it doesn't even have a lobby, you can't invite your friends because you can't invite them to anything. I don't know Bomberman. I don't know if Bomberman has lobbies. I haven't seen any multiplayer stuff.
Maybe that's not an issue with the Switch, but more of an issue with Fast RMX.
Yeah, specifically for Fast RMX, I think it just does not support that. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It should basically function like Steam, basically. Like invite your friends to play. You can drop into a game if they have a space open, if the game supports it. I've found myself wanting to chat with people on my friends list and not being able to do that. I've found myself wanting to watch people's other games and not being able to do that.
Or like I want to be able to share pictures with my friends through the Switch. Like, oh, I took this cool picture of in Zelda. You wanted to, go take a look, but then you can only upload it to Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, and it could just be the Switch is early right now. Most consoles don't have all the features when they release. I mean, Xbox, for example, is completely changing their interface now to do something else. I don't even know. I don't even follow it anymore. But they're removing whatever they had before and replace it with something else. I think that whole like picture split screen thing they're getting rid of. I don't. But we might be able to see. We might see these things. They haven't said anything. The only thing they have mentioned is they've hinted at being able to do cloud saves, which I know is a big thing that people have been critical about, is not being able to back up your saves on the Switch. Like it doesn't even save them to the SD card.
Yeah, I think that's completely dumb.
Yeah, that's something that probably should have been there. You can do it with a 3DS.
It's like, so what if I break my Switch? What if I lose my Switch? It's a handheld, you could definitely lose it. It's a possibility.
You gotta eject Zelda every time you put it down.
Well, it won't even matter because the save game is not on the cartridge. It's on the Switch itself, man.
Yep, and you can't back that up in any way, shape, or form.
I wouldn't mind playing Zelda again from the start.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process too, but we have to consider that it's still not a good thing. Like, for the unit itself, it should probably have it.
Do the other consoles have cloud save?
Yeah.
Either cloud saves or like you can save it to internal memory or the memory on the cartridge or to an external memory like an SD card. So not sure going on with their Nintendo. Did they maybe just send out the Switch with a bare bones OS on it and just kind of say we'll just patch it in later? I don't know. Seems like it because we might be getting cloud stuff and
apps like Amazon, Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah, they're working on that stuff too.
That's coming out for the Switch DS.
The Switch XL.
The Switch XL.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a lot of stuff on the horizon. I know that.
And man, it's just classic Nintendo. Like, yeah, we love Nintendo, but dude, you gotta admit they're just god awful at communicating anything they're doing. Anything they're doing. If they're working on this stuff, they could very well be. And even the cloud saves, they didn't come out and fully say they're doing. They just hinted at it. Or Reggie Fils-Aimé, whatever. He hinted at it. He didn't even outright say it.
Or like Virtual Console, still up in the air.
Yeah, but hey, it's not preventing Switch sales anyways. Switch is doing great.
Yep. For now, we'll see. There's an article on like Forbes or something saying that they're probably gonna not do all that well for like the long run.
Bullshit. It's way too early to fucking predict that.
Well, does Nintendo have a failed handheld device?
The Game Boy Micro.
Yeah, I remember that thing.
The 2DS? That's actually probably successful.
Oh yeah, successful. It reaches a different market because the price point's so low, but you can still play the full library.
It is scary thinking that it's going to go the route of the Vita, but I think Vita's different because it was competing. It was trying to budget its way into a handheld market that was already dominated by Nintendo. And
well, the thing is, the Vita doesn't have any good first-party games. Nintendo has amazing first-party games.
Yeah, it's like I've seen time game, people keep saying like Nintendo could survive on its own with its first party titles. It could just float on its first party titles, and that's not to say
very much what the Wii U did.
Yeah.
People keep forgetting that Mario's coming out in the holidays.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey.
That is another first party title, so
That's all I got the Switch for.
For Mario Party or
Mario and Zelda. First party
Mario and
games,
Zelda.
Animal Crossing.
Oh man, Animal Crossing on the Switch. I didn't even think about that for some reason.
What? That's
I played the shit out of Animal Crossing, man.
if they put fucking Animal Crossing on the Switch, it'd be the best thing ever they could do with that franchise.
or Jeff's Monster Hunter.
Okay. I would probably play it though.
Me too.
I think it doesn't fit the 3DS well. Like, I mean, do people really enjoy? You need to buy like the freaking bigger controller on the on the regular 3DS. Like I forget what it's called. It was like the extension thing that you put your 3DS into specifically for Monster Hunter.
Oh, the Pro Pad controller, some shit.
Yeah.
You think they'll ever get a 2D Zelda on the Switch at some point?
I don't know. I definitely love 2D Zeldas. They're great.
We'll probably get like Oracle of Ages and Seasons. I know are on Virtual Console for the Wii U. I hope we see a lot of Virtual Console games.
One thing that I am excited about is the fact that Reggie went out and said that they will make at least one new first party game, like major first party game for every console. So Smash Bros.
You want a new Smash Bros? I think
Yeah.
they've hinted at that, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. But Reggie flat out said that they will make one new experience, like great experience for every major franchise that they have or major IP, and Smash Bros is included in that, I would assume. And I wanted to play Smash 4, but I don't have a Wii U, and I'm not buying another Smash machine, which is what my Wii was.
I wonder if that counts for Zelda, because it's technically a Wii U port.
Huh.
Well, what did he say specifically? Did he say like a new IP? Because none of those are new IPs.
No, he's saying that they will make a new game for each of their major IPs.
Oh, okay. So Yoshi's Woolly World Switch.
So I was thinking about the sequel for Breath of the Wild and what it could be. Kind of premature to talk about, but like the only way I can see them going forward with that style and like keeping it fresh is like to go the Majora's Mask route and like play as a Goron hero of time.
Kind of what they did with Shovel Knight.
Yeah, I suppose. But like, imagine playing this Breath of the Wild world as a Goron. You wouldn't need a horse anymore. You just roll around real fast.
You turn into
that could
Sonic
be
the
fun.
Hedgehog.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
they would need like a whole new continent to play on.
Yeah, would they though? But because Breath of the Wild is Zelda, it's the entire Hyrule, like every environment that we've ever seen in a Zelda game. It is the Zelda universe. So how can you add more?
Well, it's a Hyrule Kingdom, but there's a couple of games that are on different areas. You know,
Really?
freaking. God, why am I just thought of the name. The Phantom one.
Phantom Hourglass?
Is it Hourglass? I wanted to say Hourglass, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, that one takes place on another continent. I think Spirit Tracks does too.
You hop on a boat and immediately turn into Toon Link.
Okay, but would you guys even be up for a Breath of the Wild type game that's not Hyrule? No Gorons? No Zoras?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I think you need the Zelda races like Goron and Zora and everything, but you could put them on another continent. I don't think you could release the same game, same area, and call it a new game. Don't you feel like people would be like outraged?
That's what I'm saying. They couldn't, like the sequel to Breath of the Wild couldn't just be the same world
Well,
unless you play as a totally new character which could traverse it in a completely new way.
yeah, or like, maybe instead of having a Sheikah tablet or whatever, Sheikah slate, you have something else.
Or it's like fucking another 100 years down the line and civilization is being rebuilt or something. And so they add new areas and buildings and shit.
Yeah, like the areas look different. It's the same world, but
Okay.
everything looks different.
I can see that. Like everything is just rebuilt. It's back in its former glory. Do you have some kind of different enemy?
Yeah.
I can see that working.
That's if they want to like keep what they've built, the foundation, the open world stuff. They may, I'm not in charge there. They might go back to the old formula. Who knows? I doubt it with the success of it.
Lincoln, New Donk City.
Oh God. I'm not opposed to the change. I thought this would be. It is quite different than. I mean, it is quite different and not different. All the Zelda tropes are there. they're just there in different ways, and you kind of gotta like twist your brain a little bit to kind of understand the way in which they implemented them. But they're definitely still there.
Do you prefer the new way they're doing Zelda or the old way? Like, because some
hard
might
for it to
argue that the open worldness of it makes it more samey than like in comparison to other open world games. Whereas before, a Zelda game is a Zelda game, you know it. They made clones that are called Zelda clones.
It's hard to tell because we've only had one game that's like this. Kind of like how Zelda was, absolutely amazing. Like its formula was great for a long time, but then eventually we just got kind of bored of it. So if they kept making more of this, I don't know how long I'd be able to stick on board.
Did we get tired of it though? I mean, I like Skyward Sword. It was a little linear, but if they did, I mean, the first Zelda game was an open world game. I don't know. I think whatever they do with Zelda, they're talented enough to make it work. So
I don't like not like it. I don't dislike it. It's just different. It's Zelda, but it's just different. That's what I think. We'll have to see how it evolves. It's only been out for like a little over a week, so we'll see. We'll see how it evolves. We'll see how the DLC is. We'll see if there's even more after that. Maybe there'll be expansion.
Maybe this will be, they won't make another Zelda for the Switch, and they'll just keep adding DLC.
Maybe this is it. They're done with Zelda completely.
You just keep adding onto the continent with new areas.
Yeah, they could make a Sky World or whatever.
Yeah, and you can fly a bird up to it. If you could jump down and you can call the bird.
They established the Twilight Realm. I mean, they could have an entire game, open world game.
Is the Twilight Realm the same as the Dark World in Link to the Past? Or in Link Between Worlds?
No,
I guess Link to the Past.
So yeah, that's two alternate open worlds that they could layer on top of their regular open. So I guess you should be worried. They have lots of ways to do it.
Maybe we could have underwater stuff.
Yeah, that's another bummer actually that I had to bring up, the fact that you can't do anything in the water.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be underwater things. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about doing things in the water. I just thought they were going to be like an underwater city or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about it. Well,
my gripe is that once you get into the water, you're helpless. You can't do anything.
I feel like since there isn't anything to do or look at under the water, it's fine. But yeah, not being able to defend yourself in the water is kind of annoying.
Or like you can't even drop weapons in the water. I found like a spear in the water, and I wanted to drop one of my weapons, but I couldn't because I had to be on land to drop it.
Yeah, I actually don't even think I ran into a scenario like that.
Yeah, I didn't see that problem. You might have been the only one.
Everyone in this entire world. But yeah, I totally thought that maybe you could get like some equipment to help you explore water better, but
you can lift it out of the water with magnesis, right?
You can, but like I'm saying, like if I'm already in water, like if I fell into the water, or you didn't know your inventory was full, so you jumped into the water to go grab the thing, and you're like in the middle of the lake, and you're like, oh crap, I can't pick it up.
Yeah, it's kind of inconvenient.
Now you get to drown.
Yep. But small gripes.
Small issues in a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for how fucking massive that game is, it's surprising how few annoying things there are. Like the only ones we brought up is frame rate, not the water, lack of water defense and whatnot, and climbing rainy rocks.
Yeah, I think as time goes on, we'll have to get some content on your blog and the YouTube channel.
Yeah, my blog, ever since Zelda came out, has been a little lacking.
I think that's fair.
I need to start drawing some fucking fan art of Zelda, get some attention.
Do some etchy stuff, then you'll get all the clicks.
Etchy?
Yeah, just draw some hentai, basically.
Oh, you mean tease hentai?
Yeah, just have Zelda naked on a horse.
Some people have been doing that already. I saw a gif earlier of fucking Link slapping Zelda's ass.
Well, I'm gonna. Where did you see that? Because I wanted to avoid that. Tell me where you saw it, and I'll try and stay away from it. I'll make the actual link.
Yeah, I'll give you the precise links so you can stay away from it.
All right, guys. If you want to stay away from the podcast, then don't go to mapleoverbacon.com. It's where we have all the podcasts listed. We also have them listed on iTunes and Google Play because we are professional like that. If you want to contact us for any reason, give us a suggestion for the show, whatever, go to mapleoverbacon.com. There's a contact us page there. Some beautiful pictures of ourselves and the about us, except for Landon. And Hewitt, I know we can reach you on your blog.
Sorry. I was playing Zelda. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you can reach me on my blog on www.objectivelysubjective.com, where I will try to put some more content on, but Zelda is preventing me from doing so we'll see how that goes. Or you can find me on my stream, twitch.tv/misoxshiru, which I still am streaming.
What about you, Landon?
Well, I'll be in the alley, but I'll be the only homeless person with a Switch.
Playing the Zelda in the alley.
Yeah, because you can do that, because it's a Switch.
You play anywhere you want. Well, how do you afford a Switch if you're homeless?
That's why he's homeless.
No.
Exactly.
Breaking $420 in Canada, man.
I was excited for it, so I sold my house with like 1% of what it's worth, just so I could get a Switch.
Some questionable decisions there.
No, I am Link. Zelda, fucking Hyrule is my home. Now, I don't need a roof.
Well, keep living the delusion. Hopefully you survive for the next podcast. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. See you later.